How's it going, everybody? We've got tonight's game between the number one Clemson Tigers and the number four Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and going to be down Heisman Trophy hopeful and probably number one draft pick Trevor Lawrence for the Tigers. They're also going to be down multiple starters on defense, thus probably leading to a 5.5 point spread, which was the latest I'd seen on CBS Sportsline.com, which for Clemson is pretty low. Anything under 10 points for the Clemson Tigers right now is actually very generous as far as betting spread goes. But what I'm here to, and I guess I'm being a little bit of a negative Nancy towards the game. I just don't think it really means that much. And as far as the outcome of the overall season, I mean, of course, to Clemson and especially to Notre Dame fans, of course, this game is huge. Uh, like I said, especially to Notre Dame. They do not want to lose to Clemson with a freshman backup quarterback. To me, if they're ever going to beat the Tigers or compete with them, they need to do it now. To me, if I'm a Notre Dame fan and they don't beat Clemson by 10 to 14 points, I would be feeling a little demoralized about my chances of winning a national championship. Unless some crazy, sometimes the ball just don't bounce your way. But considering the last few times they've played Clemson, they've absolutely just been thumped. But as far as just the overall scape of how the college football is going to shape out, or how the rest of the season goes, I mean, look at it. Okay, Clemson loses. Okay, now it is going to affect the rankings as Alabama and Ohio State will move to 1 and 2. I don't think Notre Dame would jump. They might jump Ohio State. I still don't think they would, especially because Notre Dame's not going to get rewarded for beating a Clemson team without Trevor Lawrence. And Clemson's not going to drop past number 4. And so you would have 1, 2, 3, Bama, Ohio State, Notre Dame, and then Clemson sitting at 4. If Notre Dame loses, well, that's that. Everybody kind of expected that anyways. You still got Bama 1, Clemson 2, or Clemson 1, Bama 2, Ohio State 3. Everything's still sitting pretty. And Clemson and Notre Dame will still match up more than likely for the ACC championship. And if Notre Dame pulls that off, they're going to get in the playoff. They're not going to leave out a 10-1, 11-1 Notre Dame team who beat Trevor Lawrence and the Clemson Tigers at full strength. So that's what I mean when, as far as the overall scale on the impact of the season, the game, and it's just so hard to say, but a 1 versus 4 matchup is just not going to have that big of an impact on, and really if you think about who gets in and who gets left out, it's not going to have that big of an impact either. Because at the end of the day, the only way I think it would affect is if Notre Dame was to, let's say they beat Clemson without Trevor Lawrence. Then Trevor Lawrence and Clemson bounce back and beat the Irish in the ACC championship game. Even if it's a close win, I believe the playoff committee will knock Notre Dame for this win. And they would put a undefeated Cincinnati or maybe an undefeated Oregon, however the Pac-12 works out. The only thing that worries me is that the Pac-12 and the Big Ten have cornered themselves with no extra wiggle room with their late start to make up any games should they need to postpone. So I think that could be the one kind of dagger in a Pac-12 team's chances, and really it could possibly bite Ohio State or a team like Wisconsin. Like, it could really bite Wisconsin. The only thing that could really help Wisconsin right now is if they ran the table. If they get back next week, if they ran the table and then just handled an undefeated Ohio State team in the Big Ten title game. And even then, putting in a 5-0 Wisconsin team when there's possibly an 11-0 Cincinnati team who has played week in, or 10-0 Cincinnati team who's played week in and week out. I mean, yes, you have to look at the circumstances, but nobody made the Big Ten cancel football. They had every opportunity to follow just what the SEC, ACC, AAC, they chose, and the Pac-12 and the Mountain West, these other conferences chose not to play the first 4, 5, 7 weeks of the year. So, I mean, there are consequences, and they pin themselves in a terrible situation as far as makeup games go. But anyways, back to the Clemson-Notre Dame game. I just I don't feel, and I honestly and I hate just bashing Notre Dame because they are a proud university, and they have been really great since 2017. One of the top 5 programs in the country. I think they're 29-3 since, I believe, the 2017 season. Ian Book has been fantastic as far as a game manager. I know he's not putting up spectacular stats, but he's really solidified and been a leader on that team. I mean, you look at his stats this year, he's only got 1,225 yards passing, but he's got 7 touchdowns, only 1 pick, but 5 rushing touchdowns. So he does what he has to. He's a smart guy, and he plays mistake-free football most of the time. And then you look at Kyron Williams for Notre Dame, the running back. 105 carries on the year, 600 yards, 7 touchdowns. And then you look at Travis Etienne for the Clemson Tigers, the all-time leading rusher in ACC history. He's got 1 more, or actually 2 less carries, 6 more yards, and 2 more touchdowns than Williams. So really, Notre Dame's running back, as far as the running game going, he's right there neck and neck. But Clemson does have the edge, obviously, which Clemson, only 1 or 2 teams can even stand up to Clemson statistically in the passing game. But as far as, Trevor Lawrence is in a league of his own as far as his quarterback, just ability, frankly. DJ Uiagalelei, and hey, I'm sorry if I butchered that. It took me all of 2017 to get Tungavaloa right, okay? I'm sorry. But he came in, he performed great against Boston College, leading Clemson back last week. And even with everything that Clemson's missing, it's just hard to go against Dabo and that just monster they've built there. They're not challenged a lot. So when they do have these matchups, they come out full throttle. They're ready to play. They're fired up. They don't have to exert the energy and the exhaust that most Power 5 programs do week in and week out. And, well, frankly, neither is Notre Dame this week or this year. But they're just not there as far as the talent level of Clemson. And I think Clemson will expose that, of course. Dabo is also one of the, if not, the second best coach in college football right now. Um, and I just think, even though they're playing in South Bend, uh, if I'm gonna see Clemson get beat, or if I'm gonna have to see somebody actually beat Clemson to believe it. So that's how it goes. So I like Clemson to get the win, even with everything stacked against them, and I think they'll pretty much cement their sixth straight college playoff berth tonight, and punch their ticket to, I believe, Charlotte, North Carolina, for the ACC championship. If you enjoyed what we did, please hit the like, subscribe button, and keep checking back with us. And I appreciate you watching. Take care. God bless. Peace.